Alright guys, so Libs of TikTok once again has been locked out of Twitter for violating its hateful conduct policy. Now this comes after Libs of TikTok exposed a children's hospital in DC for allegedly having a policy that basically allows them to conduct gender-affirming hysterectomies on young girls younger than the age of 18. Now, I did a story about this before, okay, just a few days ago when it first came out, in which, again, there's an audio recording of two hospital workers confirming that this hospital does, in fact, perform gender-affirming hysterectomies on girls under the age of 18. Now, the hospital came out and denied this claim despite two hospital workers confirming that, and on their website saying that they perform these types of surgeries on minors from ages 0 to 21. They did not specify exactly what age were kids eligible for gender-affirming hysterectomies, but they said that they perform this type of stuff age 0 through 21, okay? So you can't be mad at Libs of TikTok and at people who look at what you put on your website, plus what your workers said on a recorded line about how you do offer this service, and then turn around and smear people as hateful for simply repeating the things that you said, which basically is what drives the left insane. That is what Libs of TikTok, their whole account is about. It's about putting up a mirror of the left and letting themselves watch themselves and their insanity in the mirror, and for whatever reason that drives them absolutely nuts, okay? Which is why Libs of TikTok has constantly been on attack for doing nothing more than simply reposting things that leftists say and post on the internet themselves, okay? It's absolutely crazy to witness this happening, okay? And it's gonna get even crazier because the Washington Post wrote a hit piece about Libs of TikTok, which led to her suspension. And apparently before this was released, the Washington Post journalist that wrote this hit piece actually reached out to Libs of TikTok for comment. Now, before Libs of TikTok could actually do the interview that they agreed to, this guy went ahead and published the article without the interview. Now, the dude is coming back and saying that he can update the story with her comments after they already ran their smear campaign. This shows you exactly how the mainstream liberal media works. They don't really care about hearing from the other side. They simply want to put their narrative out there as fast as possible, because the desired effect is to have Libs of TikTok suspended permanently from Twitter. They want to shut down Libs of TikTok. That's what they want to do. They want to cancel Libs of TikTok. Hence the title of this propaganda piece from the Washington Post, which says, Children's Hospital Threatened After Libs of TikTok Recording on Trans Hysterectomy. So, again, what is this title implying? This title is implying that Libs of TikTok is responsible for whatever threats that are being levied against this children's hospital, right? Whatever threats they're receiving, Libs of TikTok is responsible. Now, you would think that this author, Mr. Peter Jamison, would let Libs of TikTok actually respond, especially if he asked Libs of TikTok for an interview. He would actually interview Libs of TikTok to give her the opportunity to say, hey, I don't condone any threats of violence, right? I don't support violence. I don't support hate. You think that he would give her an opportunity to say those things before running this hit piece. But again, like I told you guys, he's not concerned about getting the other side of the story, okay? He's more concerned about the narrative that they already know that they want to push, right? It's just a formality to say, well, we asked Libs of TikTok to respond, and they didn't respond, right? That's the formality here, right? That's all it is. So with that being said, I want to read about this because I'm telling you, man, articles like this expose the mainstream liberal media and the so-called fact checkers, and why you can never, ever trust these so-called arbiters of truth, which is what the mainstream liberal media and the Democrat Party are actively trying to be. But before I get in that, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you want to support my channel, you could check out my merch, my donkey pox shirts, the disease that's affecting America, or my hashtag no days off / hard work patriotic t-shirts, or my MAGA hub shirts. You can check them out at my website, gforemanbcp.com. Get 20% off using discount code gforemanbcp. So without further ado, let's get into it. Children's National Hospital has been inundated with threatening emails and phone calls after an influential right-wing Twitter account published a recording that falsely suggested the hospital is performing hysterectomies on transgender children, a hospital spokeswoman said. The turn of harassment was accompanied by a social media post suggesting that children's be bombed and its doctors placed in a wood chipper. Okay, so obviously it goes without saying that those types of threats are wrong. Okay, nobody should be condoning those types of threats, right? I think that it is clear and obvious, okay, that people don't think that that's okay. The recording made by Libs TikTok founder Chaya Rachik features two telephone operators at the renowned DC medical facility stating in response to Rachik's questions that a 16-year-old trans boy would be eligible for a hysterectomy at the hospital's gender development clinic. Children's has not disputed the authenticity of the recording, but said the employees provided inaccurate information. None of the people who were secretly recorded by this activist group delivered care to our patients, hospital spokeswoman Ariana Amandi Perez said, quote, "We do not and have never performed gender-affirming hysterectomies for anyone under the age of 18. All right, so here's the issue here, right? Which we're going to get to, the main issue being this is propaganda and it's obviously written in favor of the hospital, okay? The Washington Post just assumes that the hospital is correct and the hospital is not lying. But let's actually examine the hospital's claims here. The hospital is saying that, look, this is incorrect, although the recording itself is authentic. The information that was given was incorrect because the people that Libs and TikTok spoke to don't deliver care to the patients, okay? As in, they're not like a nurse or a doctor or whatever. So they're basically saying that you shouldn't believe the telephone operators, again, because they don't give care to patients. They're not actually doctors, which in my opinion is absolutely ridiculous because you don't need to be a doctor to know basic policies of the hospital, who is eligible for certain treatments and who is not. Okay, in regards to age. So again, here's the thing. If they're not eligible or qualified to make that determination over the phone, then they should be fired or punished. Has the Children's Hospital fired or punished these workers? We don't know. Because if these workers, two of them, right, which again, I think that it's kind of crazy how you got two that not only confirmed that the hospital does do this, that a girl younger than the age of 18 would be eligible, but also you had one that just came out and said, yeah, we've seen this procedure performed on girls under the age of 18 and even younger than 16, okay? So if they say something like that on the phone, and it is not only false, but they're also not qualified to be saying that over the phone because they don't give care to patients, they should be fired. And the fact that they're not fired, or put it this way, there's no public announcement that they've been fired for giving out this erroneous information, even though they're not qualified to do so, tells you that more than likely they weren't giving out wrong information, right? Because if they fired them based off what is hospital policy, then there will be a lawsuit waiting for them in which, yeah, we're actually going to find out if they actually do give gender affirming care to young girls under the age of 18 and they don't want that. So I guarantee you these employees won't be punished, but under a scenario where, again, if you say that you've never done this, you don't do it and you've never done it, these employees should be fired because what these employees said has led to the hospital being threatened. Again, these are fireable offenses. So again, if the hospital does not perform this, if these employees made that mistake, they should be fired. And if the hospital won't fire them, then that tells you that these employees weren't lying, right? I'm serious. Again, this is the type of stuff that a real journalistic outlet would ask those questions to the hospital. They would ask those questions and say, okay, well, if they made this mistake, why are they not fired? Why do they still have their jobs? Because this mistake has led to threats of violence, and that's unacceptable. So let's read here, because again, this is going to reveal to you guys why this is propaganda, how this works, okay? Such statements have not dispelled the fervor Rachik's Thursday Post unleashed. Right-wing media outlets, including Fox News and the Daily Caller, ran stories based on the erroneous information provided in the telephone conversations. A subtitled video of the recording had been viewed more than 800,000 times on Twitter by Friday evening. Now, again, this is the author of the Washington Post article stating that this story from Libs and TikTok, this phone call contained erroneous information. This is not a quote from the hospital. This is them basically stating straight up, we side with the hospital. We believe the hospital. We're taking the hospital's word as fact. We're not going to investigate any further. We're not going to ask any questions. We're not going to actually dig into why did these employees say that? Why did we have 2 employees confirm what is false information when they're not qualified to be giving out that information over the phone according to the hospital itself? We need to dig deeper into this because we understand the consequences of giving out this type of information over the phone. We need to dig deeper, but no, they won't dig deeper. What they're going to revert to is going after Libs and TikTok for doing real investigative journalism instead of actually doing more investigative journalism themselves and questioning the hospital to get to the truth. Is Libs and TikTok lying? Did the employees get it wrong? Or is the hospital lying? I think the people have the right to know that. But we won't know because, again, big media outlets like Washington Post won't do their damn jobs because they're more worried about pushing propaganda than finding the truth. In response to a request for comment for this story, Right Chick immediately agreed to an interview on the condition that she be allowed to record it. But after learning the Post had missed that response and published the story before an interview could be arranged, she stopped communicating with the Post and expressed outrage on Twitter. Quote, "That's not how this works," she tweeted. The scrutiny of children's comes just weeks after Libs and TikTok similarly targeted, again, pay attention to the wording here, targeted Boston Children's Hospital over its care for transgender people. In that instance, the account highlighted a video produced by the hospital discussing gender-affirming hysterectomies. Libs and TikTok claimed the surgery was being performed on young girls, although Boston Children's Hospital said the procedure is not available to those under 18. Despite its name, the Boston Hospital, like Children's National in DC, treats patients into young adulthood. Officials at Boston Children's likewise said their providers were targeted with threats and harassments after Libs and TikTok brought attention to their program. So again, the Washington Post here decides that we're going to focus more on Libs and TikTok and how, you know, they're spreading hate, okay, and that people are issuing threats because of Libs and TikTok investigative reporting, as if this stuff doesn't happen with every journalistic outlet that does some type of investigative reporting. You know, you're going to have people that go out here and say and do crazy stuff, okay? Again, that's not excusing it. Obviously, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. But again, that's not out of the ordinary for people to respond in that type of way when things like this get uncovered. I don't know, similarly to how the Supreme Court leaker calls leftists to threaten the Supreme Court with an attempted assassination on a Supreme Court justice. So again, Washington Post here, instead of digging deeper into this story, right, questioning the hospitals and trying to figure out, okay, are you actually really doing this or no? Right? Why is it that what's on the webpage and what your employees are saying over the phone is so different than what you're telling us? Why is that different? Why is there discrepancy here? No. Let's just go out to Libs and TikTok. Let's just try to get them banned on social media because we don't like the fact that they're doing our job better than we do our job, right? That's all this is. It's jealousy and hate, not coming from Libs and TikTok, but coming from the mainstream liberal media. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.